Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to the IOC for giving us this amazing opportunity to share our insights and to give a signal of appreciation to our work. I will first introduce you shortly to the association Sport the Bridge, to the backgrounds of the association, and to the ideological or idea behind the program Ethiopia Sport Builds Bridges. Before my colleague Lilyana Ahmed will give you some insights of her work in the field. Sport the Bridge is a typical grassroots organization which was founded in 2002 in Switzerland, in the capital city of Bern, based on the idea of one person without money, without contacts, without specific knowledge. He had an idea, he had a vision, and he collected some volunteers. We're a pure volunteer organization. All the work in Switzerland is done unpaid, and only our staff in Ethiopia is paid for their work. So we believe in a dual approach. True development cooperation is only possible when there is mutual learning. So we do not want to go to Ethiopia and give our insights on structure and organizational thinking, but also learn from Ethiopia. That's why we are also implementing projects in Switzerland in the domain of mainly against racism, these topics. But now, today, we're here to talk about our program in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. A principle of Sport the Bridge is that we think that experience, physical experience, and emotions are a very good complement to intellectual learning. So experience and emotions, they complete learning through the mind. So learning through body and the mind is one of our principles in all our work. All our programs and projects, maybe in Ethiopia or in Switzerland, have a pedagogical background. The idea of the association is to promote the personal development of children through the use of sport. That's our point. We want to use sport as a tool. Concretely in Ethiopia, in 2004, a group of us went to Ethiopia to build up a program, or then it was a project. We didn't know how long it would last, with the goal to re-socialize street children through the use of sport. Means to bring them back into their families, to bring them back into public school, and finally to bring them back into society, to give them new perspectives. Our work was based on some principles, some pillars. One was that we wanted to empower the staff. So from the beginning on, it was clear that we targeted the quick exit of the Swiss persons out of Ethiopia, means a quick handover, operational handover to our local Ethiopian staff. This finally we achieved in 2 years, end of 2006. Since then, our local program manager are running all operational and more also strategical questions and issues. Then, another principle is a strong help for self-help approach regarding our target group. We didn't want to go there and give gifts, as street children in Ethiopia know there are a lot of places where they can go and take benefits without being really willing to change their own situation. The willingness of the child is a strong and important prerequisite that the child gets support from our organization. So we give a hand, but the child has to take the hand. Then, we want to create a kind of framework, an institutional framework with this program to develop and test sport as a social tool. So we all know that sport is good in principle. But how to use sport in a targeted manner? Because we also know that from the media and so, sport can also have ugly faces, bad parts. We want to use directly sport as a tool. We want to bring relatively early the discussion about the good values of sport on a more concrete level by also building a tool which is easy easy transferable to other persons. And so you can see our program as kind of a test site, which could be a pilot for other sites in the world and other contexts. Regarding this, we set up a craft model. We developed the craft model during years, which is a set of games, exercises, minor games, which all have a pedagogic message, and Lilyana will show you how we use this on the field. The sports on which these minor games are based are different, but basically every kind of sports would be used. Finally, last but not least, our approach is low-cost means characterized by the idea we go there and build up low infrastructure. We don't go there and build up a lot of things which cost. We use local materials, start with low infrastructure first to show locals how they can use their own resources. Second, to concentrate our few resources on our target group, means the children. And I'm very happy to give the word to Lilyana, which is the expert in the field, and she will provide you details of our work in Addis Ababa.
And now I continue what Sport the Rich Ethiopia does in Addis Ababa. Our main goal of the program is to re-socialize street children of Addis Ababa and bring them back home, or bring them back to their family. And their age is from 6-year-old up to 14 years old. Our main program goes on for 5 consecutive years, and then after, the children will phase out from the program. Our core activities are sport pedagogy and family work. Of course, they are also surrounded by other supporting activities like nutrition support, health and hygiene support, and at the same time, a literacy program. What do we mean by sports pedagogy in Sport the Rich? And what do we do there? What's a craft module before my colleague presents? As Sport the Rich has got its own craft, a module called craft, which is in fact a German word. Each letter stands for 5 different topics, like K stands for body, R stands for rules, A stands for acceptance, F is for fairness, and T is for team. And we make the children to learn out of these 5 topics in a manner of organized way. This model is prepared in a way where children play or do a sport and play a game. Then after that, out of this game or out of this sport, they will be able to reorganize a kind of message, what they can learn out of this, and then they reconstruct a social value message for themselves. In the normal circumstances, it's the children by themselves, after they do the sport, will create a message for themselves. Of course, they will be out of these 5 topics. And in problem, they have their own sport teachers, and they will be guided by them. In our model, there are 10 steps for each 5 topics, and so that it gives a chance for the children to do the topics repetitively, and they keep it in their mind so that they will translate it to the social values. This kind of lesson, 5 topics, will keep on the children from 9 months to 11 months, and then we call these children a first-year children or a first-year students in the program. In addition to that, or in addition to the craft model training, the children has got also or has given time and space to do other sports like basketball, football, a martial art like a karate, or riding a bicycle, many different kinds of sports. Then They will keep on learning while they are playing with their colleagues. Besides resocialization, Sport the Bridge does family integration work for the street children. Of course, if they don't have parents, it still re-socialize or reintegrate with the extended family of them. And we have seen it and it worked a lot. Children learn different social values in sport, and they could realize also the importance of living in home or living with family, and at the same time they realize how it is dangerous for them to live in the street. Then Sport the Bridge brings together the children and the family or the parents or extended family together. Sport the Bridge works to find out solutions for the family. Different kinds of problems are there, and for example, income problem is there, and when it is needed, Sport the Bridge gives different kinds of solutions by working together with the beneficiaries. It does also family empowerment trainings, like parenting training, how the family can keep on going with difficult child, and also different trainings for them. As I mentioned at the beginning, to strengthen the main activity, which is sport pedagogy and family work, we have got another supportive activities like nutrition. Yes, of course, the children are playing and doing sport, and we need to offer or we need to provide food. And we have 2 times in a day as a meal service for these children. There is also health treatment and hygiene. They are vulnerable for different diseases while they are living on the streets or in the streets. The streets make them different, to get different diseases. For this, Sport the Bridge has got a scheme, a health treatment scheme, and also hygiene service. At the same time, it gives a health education so that the children will learn how to keep their hygiene. Street children has got a school gap. While they are living in the street, they never go to school, or they stop going to school, and there is a big gap when we want to reintegrate them to school. To fill this gap, Sport the Bridge, within the first year stay with us, they get a literacy program and literacy support. Of course, they have got also psychological support in counseling and guidance program with our psychologists. And we have got also a painting therapy where the children, when they feel to paint, they paint and they get a soul treatment for themselves. All the above activities are for input for first-year children. Then we have got also a follow-up program for the children who are going to stay with us for for 4 consecutive years, and then they will be sustainable with the solution they have got from Sport the Bridge. In the follow-up program, we do different activities. The priority is there is a regular sport training after they come from school. There will be also a school follow-up so that they will keep on going to school and they will not be disturbed by the previous activity. There is also tutorial class for them, and social school materials will be provided for. We do have also for the reintegrated children and not reintegrated children who are still living on the street, different kinds of special sport and social events. And I would like to mention here one example that we have each year, a kind of big sport event in Addis Ababa. It's called Gigathlon Ethiopia. And the origin of the event is from Switzerland, where they call it Gigathlon Switzerland, which is organized by Switzerland Swiss Olympic Association, and we are supported by this when to prepare each year for the children this kind of program or an event. Here I would like also to mention that Every time we work with important people for this, so that the children also get an idol to follow and to get also example for their life. One time we were working with a runner of Ethiopia called Haile Gebrselassie. Maybe most of you know him here now. And he was passing a lot of emotion from him to the former street and real street children, so that they have to be off from the street and live in home. Now I will be very happy to present you one successful story of Supporter Bridge with one child. The child is called Ababa, and Ababa's story is, he is 14 years old who was living on the street without school and without his family, only following his colleagues and friends. But now he is integrated with his family right in the capital city of Addis Ababa. He has got parents. Now he is living with them because of our support, and he's going to school. By now he has reached grade 3. When we found him on the street, he stopped his lesson at grade 1. He always comes after school to Supporter Bridge to attend the other activities like tutorial classes, sport training, and also as he really likes playing football. Most street children and former street children like to play football, so he comes for this to the Supporter Bridge. In 2 years, Ababa will phase out from our program, and Supporter Bridge believes that he and his family will be able to keep on by themselves, and their family will be able to send, with the all psychological support and income support, they will be sending their child to school. I would like to say some of our performances now. We deal with 18 children every year, street children every year, and then around 60 children out of this we integrate to the family, sometimes in Addis Ababa, or sometimes it could be also in countryside. Why I am saying countryside is, it's a known phenomenon that children come from countryside to the city by different push, like the parents would tell, go and try to live better, and all the friends and neighbors, they see something and then they come back to the city to live. But they will, most of the time, they will end up on the street, living alone with no relatives and with no families. So since 2005, we really took back about 150 children to countryside and reintegrated. Another performance I would like to mention here is, in 2011 we achieved to form a football team under 17, which is consisting our former street children, but no more a street child, and who is starting going to school and sleep at home. We have also a collaboration with different NGOs in the city, in Addis Ababa, those who are working with vulnerable children. In this year also we have given a TOT, training of trainers, based on our craft module, so that to another NGO called Learning for Life, because they are interested to follow our track and use a craft model to train children to gain more social values. And this showed us already how our future should be, and that we have to be prepared to train others also to follow our way of doing things, and then also learn from others. We have also some challenges. Since the beginning, it was a very big challenge that street children come to the program and drop, or come to the program, follow for some years, reintegrate with the family, reintegrated in the school, and then all of a sudden, with a little bit problem, they drop out and you find them on the street already. And this dropout case, we are always working on it, and our wish is every time to reduce the number. There is another challenge we have is we don't have a formal network among other NGOs who are working with street children and other vulnerable children in Addis Ababa. So Sport the Rich's wish and struggling is to have a kind of informal network so that we can also preserve our resource and also share our resources among us and stop duplication. There is also a problem of working place because since we are doing sport and we are doing with street children and street children are really need a very big space because they are used to the street which doesn't have any border and we need a really sufficient place. And for Sport the Rich, it's still a challenge to secure a kind of place for our children and we are working on it. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I welcome your questions.